The rain in Seattle doesn't wash things away. It just makes the rot easier to smell. My father was a self-made man. He spent 40 years building a specialized medical logistics company. He died on a Tuesday. By Thursday, the vultures were circling. The biggest vulture had my same last name. My brother, Leo, was always the charmer. He was the one who stayed close to home while I moved to Chicago to build my own career in forensic audit. He was the good son who took Dad to his appointments. I was the cold daughter who only cared about the bottom line. Or so he told everyone. At the reading of the will, the atmosphere was clinical. The attorney, a man who had been my father's friend for decades, looked pale. According to the latest amendment, he began, his voice wavering. The entirety of the estate, the house, the company, and the liquid assets, goes to Leo. I felt the oxygen leave the room. What about the 50-50th split Dad promised? I asked. Leo didn't look at me. He wiped a fake tear with a silk handkerchief. Dad realized you didn't need the money, Elara. You're so successful. He wanted to make sure the family legacy stayed in capable hands. Then, the attorney handed me the document. There it was. My father's signature. And next to it, mine. A relinquishment of interest. Dated 3 weeks before Dad died. The ink was dark. The handwriting was perfect. Except for one thing. I wasn't in Seattle 3 weeks ago. I was in London on a high-security audit. Leo hadn't just stolen my inheritance. He had forged my soul. In the United States, the probate system is slow, but greed is fast. Leo didn't wait for the grass to grow on Dad's grave. He put the family home on the market, a $1.2 million craftsman in Queen Anne. He started drawing management fees from the company. He bought a Porsche. He started posting about his new chapter on LinkedIn. I moved back to Seattle, but not into the house. I checked into a hotel. I didn't call a regular lawyer. I called a warrior. And I started doing what I do best, following the paper trail. In forensic accounting, we have a saying, paper remembers. People forget. Leo forgot that every time you use a digital signature or a notary, there is a digital footprint. He forgot that my father's witnesses were his own gambling buddies. But most importantly, he forgot that I had kept every boarding pass and GPS log for my London trip. The estate was worth roughly $4.2 million. In Leo's mind, he had hit the jackpot. In my mind, he had just signed a contract for his own bankruptcy. Have you ever had a family member treat your hard work like their personal ATM? Did you stay silent to keep the peace? Or did you burn the bridge to save the truth? I didn't confront him. In the US legal system, if you reveal your hand too early, the rat finds a new hole. I let him spend. Every dollar he took from the company was another nail in his coffin. I hired a handwriting expert, a former FBI specialist. I hired a private investigator to track the notary who supposedly signed the document. The notary was a woman named Sarah. She lived in a trailer 2 hours outside the city. She was terrified when my PI showed up with a subpoena. She cracked in 10 minutes. Leo had paid her $5,000 to overlook the fact that I wasn't in the room. But I didn't stop there. I audited the company books from the last 6 months of my father's life. Leo hadn't just forged the will. He had been embezzling small amounts for years to cover his day trading losses. Total theft, $450,000. I had him for forgery, fraud, and embezzlement. I didn't want him in jail. Jail is too easy. I wanted him broke. Leo called a board meeting to finalize the sale of the company to a competitor. He was wearing a $3,000 suit. He looked like a king. The board members, old men who had worked with my dad, looked uncomfortable. It's a great deal, Leo pitched. It secures our future. I walked in 10 minutes late. I wasn't wearing a dress. I was wearing a black power suit. I didn't sit down. I threw a 50-page report on the table. The only thing this deal secures, Leo, is your prison cell. The room went silent. Elara, you're not on the board, Leo sneered, his face turning a blotchy red. Get out. Actually, I said, sliding a court injunction across the mahogany. The probate court has frozen all assets. The will has been flagged for criminal forgery. And Sarah, the notary, she's currently giving a statement to the DA. Leo's confident posture collapsed. He looked at the board. They looked away. I also have the audit of the $450,000 you stole while Dad was dying of cancer, I added. I'm giving you 24 hours to sign over your interest in the company and the house to me as a settlement for the stolen funds. Or we can let the police handle the forgery charge. Forgery of a will in this state is a Class B felony, Leo. That's 10 years. In personal finance, we talk about liquidating assets. Leo had no liquidity. He had spent the cash on cars, watches, and investments that were underwater. To pay back the $450,000 he stole and to settle the civil suit I leveled against him, he had only one option. The house. He had just moved into a $900,000 modern condo in South Lake Union. He thought he was the new elite. I forced him to sell it in a fire sale. In a high interest rate market, a quick sale means you lose equity. He lost $150,000 in the transaction. He had to sell the Porsche back to the dealership at a 30% loss. He had to sell the watch. When the dust settled, he had nothing. He was back in a studio apartment, working a retail job, while I took over the CEO chair of our father's company. Moral of the story: never forge the signature of someone who knows how to read the fine print. I didn't keep the company to be rich. I kept it to protect the people my father cared about. I implemented a 401k match for every employee. I cleaned up the books. I grew the company's valuation by 40% in the first year. Leo sent me a text last Christmas. I'm your brother. How can you let me live like this? I didn't reply with words. I sent him a PDF copy of the forged will. Attached was a note. You sign this. Now live with the signature. In the US, wealth is the ultimate no. It gives you the power to say no to predators, even when they share your blood. I built my empire on the truth. Leo built his on a lie. The lie collapsed. The truth stayed standing. If you're tired of being the quiet one while others steal your seat at the table, you're in the right place. Join the RevengeEcho community. Subscribe now. Silence isn't golden. Success is. The strategy. Elara used her professional skills to find hidden liabilities, the embezzlement, giving her massive leverage in negotiations. By acting fast with a court injunction, she prevented Leo from spending the evidence and disappearing. She chose a settlement that stripped him of assets immediately rather than a 5-year court battle that would have bled the estate dry in legal fees. She protected the company's valuation by keeping the scandal internal until she had control, ensuring the asset remained valuable. Don't forget to subscribe now. Success is golden and RevengeEcho.
Thanking you for watching RevengeEcho channel. Like, subscribe and comment where you are watching from.